Matthew 21:7, and brought the ass and the colt, and put on them their clothes. Mark 11:7, and they brought the colt to Jesus, and cast their garments on him. Luke 19:35, and they brought him to Jesus, and they cast their garments upon the colt. John 12:14, and Jesus, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon. So they all begin with and. I'm going to hold off on the sat thereon portion from all of them until I get this first few words set up. When he had found a young ass. I don't think any of that I'm going to include from John, because it's not Jesus that found the colt or the donkey. He knew where they were. He told his disciples where to go to get them. So I think I might only use from John and Jesus, then maybe young ass. I don't know. Luke, they brought him to Jesus. Okay, Matthew has more than just him. And brought, okay, it doesn't have they, so I'd probably include they. And they brought, not him, the ass and the colt. Mark, and they brought, I'd have to add the ass and then colt. I'll do that first. And from all four, they, from Mark and Luke, brought, from Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the ass and the colt. One of the these and the word colt is from Mark and Matthew. Matthew, put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. Mark, they brought the colt to Jesus. Okay, I'll include to Jesus. Luke, and they brought him to Jesus. Okay, yeah. John also has Jesus, not two. So two is Mark and Luke. Jesus is Mark, Luke, and John. Now, like I said earlier with John, I don't think I'm going to use any of the rest of these words. When he had found a young ass. Maybe young ass. Maybe sat thereon. But for now, I'm going to avoid that. Luke, and they cast their garments upon the colt. Mark, and cast, I could put they cast, their garments on or upon him or the colt. Him or the colt? Him or the colt? Matthew, and put on them their clothes. I like garments more than clothes because they're not taking off all their clothes. They're just using a piece of clothing, which would be a garment, so their garments. I know it could mean the same thing, but it seems a bit more clear. And they, I'd have to put the they from only Luke. And is all three. They is Luke. So now, between Matthew, put on, or Mark and Luke, cast, and also the word on from later. Cast their garments upon. Put or cast? Cast. Cast is used twice, but whenever I read cast, I think throw or toss. The word cast in Mark is underlined and explained as put or tossed. Yeah, just like I was saying. Cast or toss, it seems careless. But I think it's more like they're making a makeshift saddle. They're putting their garments on the colt, or on both of them, and he sat upon him. Luke. And they set Jesus thereon. I think that thereon means on the garments on the colt. Matthew, put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. Yeah, so I think this is Jesus sitting on the garments on the colt, like it's a makeshift saddle. So I don't think cast should be used. I want to go with put from Matthew? Should I have it from the order of Matthew? Put on them their, I'm going to go with garments. So put on them their garments. Mark, put their garments on him. I'd probably go with them from Matthew because they're both there. So it would be put their garments on them. That would be the order from Mark. Luke, they put their garments upon, not just the colt, but them. I really want to include all the words showing both of them are there. And also because it's unlikely the disciples are putting all their garments upon the colt. That'd be 12 garments on the colt. I don't know if they all have garments to put on them, but they're probably putting some on the colt as a makeshift saddle and then the rest on the donkey to hold their stuff. That's my explanation of how they would put their garments on them. I think I'm going to go with the order from the majority. Mark and Luke, their garments on him, or upon him, and not him, but them. Their garments upon them, yeah. They put their garments. There is in Matthew, so that's all three. Garments is Mark and Luke. On or upon? I guess I'll put upon. The up part is only Luke. And they put their garments upon them. Now this last part. Matthew reads, and they set him thereon. That sounds kind of weird. It's as if they're lifting him up and placing him on the colt. I don't know if I like that. They set him thereon. Mark, and he sat upon him. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Jesus is not being lifted and carried. He is sitting upon him. But then I'd probably have to change the him for thereon. And he sat thereon instead of upon him. I know he's not straddling both. He's only sitting on the colt. But if I have him, it would be an awkward switch between they put their garments on them and he sat upon him. Luke, and they set Jesus thereon. That's pretty much exactly the same as Matthew. And they set him thereon, except for the name Jesus added. John, and Jesus, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon. Okay, yeah, that's similar to Mark. He sat thereon. Oh, that's actually what I was thinking of anyway. He sat, and then exchanging him for thereon, but that's already how it's written in John. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I could use Jesus instead of he, thereon. I could use the and from the beginning. Jesus sat from elsewhere, thereon. And is from Matthew, Mark, Luke. Jesus from Luke. Sat is in Mark and John. Thereon is in Matthew, Luke, and John, not Mark. So now it all reads, and they brought the ass and the colt to Jesus, and they put their garments upon them, and Jesus sat thereon. Yeah, that seems rather clear. They're bringing the animals. They're putting their garments upon both, because both are there, and Jesus sat thereon. If I could say Jesus sat on the colt, that would be great, but I want to include both, and I honestly think it would be awkward to then go right back to Jesus sat on him. They put the garments on them and Jesus sat on him. I don't know, that's too weird, so I'm just going to have Jesus sat thereon. Plus thereon is in 3 as opposed to him, which is in 1. That's another reason to keep thereon. But yeah, I think this is good.